Hello, my name is Hillary Weber, and I am the owner of Unleashed Pet Services, and I have here with me
Brenna Gray, the owner of Premier Animal Wellness and Surgery, also known as PAWS.
Well, today we are going to be talking about pee pads. So, pee pads are a big topic, I think, for both of our fields.
Absolutely.
Do you get lots of questions about pee
We get
pads?
lots of questions about
I
pee pads.
do too. From the boarding side, from the training side. What kinds of questions do you usually get for pee pads?
So the biggest, little dogs. It tends to be with little dogs.
Mm-hmm.
People, sometimes breeders start them on pee pads.
Yes, I've heard that one too.
I've even had puppies come in that breeders started in litter boxes, and
heard of that.
all sorts of different things. But okay, the puppy came using a pee pad. The new owner wants to get them to transition outside. How do we do that? Should we continue using pee pads? Those are kind of the biggest things that we get questions in here about.
So I am almost gonna start with just kind of where my brain is going with that from the trainer's side of things. And then I wanna cover it a little bit with the boarding perspective. And then I wanna get your thoughts. But my first thought is what I would recommend if someone's puppy came from the breeder with being on pee pads, I wouldn't even use them when I get home. I would immediately just start trying to transition to outside. As hard as it's going to be sometimes to have, because you're going to have those accidents every now and then, but I would still start trying to transition outside because it's not going to get easier if you keep using puppy pads. And it's just going to be this other thing that you're going to have to battle, just like trying to get them to potty train outside anyway. So you might as well just start it right away. So that's usually what I recommend people. And then from the boarding perspective, my first thought is we've had people ask if they can bring pee pads in for their dogs for whichever reason. And I get it. Those are things sometimes people have to use or they've already started using, and it's overwhelming to think about trying to transition. Ask for a trainer's help if you need help. But my first thought, if that was in the kennel, if your dog is not used to being boarded, or even if they are, they get kennel anxiety. And sometimes that anxiety can lead to destructiveness. And my biggest fear is that they would start chewing on the pee pad and that it would become ingested. And then one of my biggest things is safety. So I worry about bowel obstruction. So we do not permit puppy pads at all, or pee pads for any of those reasons, just because there's that danger out there.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree with that philosophy. No, I would not want a dog in a kennel overnight in a new situation with a pee pad.
Absolutely.
That is, anxiety, boredom, new situation. Any of the above is a great reason for a dog to eat something, and pee pads are designed to absorb.
Yep.
And just like a diaper inside the intestine, it just sucks it up and gets stuck. So
that's definitely
100% agree with you.
So I definitely would have to say, from the boarding perspective, just get off the pee pads as soon as you can. From the training perspective, get off the pee pads as soon as you can. And I think almost from the veterinary
get off the pee pads. Yep.
Get off the pee pads. Unfortunately, it's just, as much as it can have started out to be really great help, I think there's so many things that can just make it more harmful.
Yes. Yep.
Than good.
I agree. And one thing that we often tell clients is, okay, so you have this puppy that came and it's only ever peed on pee pads, and it goes outside and it's looking at the butterflies and it doesn't go to the bathroom. Sometimes we'll have people actually take the pee pad, don't put pee pads in the house, take the pee pad, that's what they associate with going to the bathroom, put it outside.
That's a really great recommendation.
Start the transition. Get their brain in it that's a temporary fix. That is not a long-term solution. But if we have a puppy that's really struggling, sometimes that little bit can just kind of help push them outside. But again, would not put pee pads in the house for backup.
Absolutely.
Backups, nope.
And another helpful tip for just transitioning to getting them outside, I always recommend people carry the puppy outside every time you're going to go outside. Just carry them out. That way there's not the chance that, we didn't make it out the door and an accident happens.
Yep.
And then every time that you take them outside, go to the same spot until you don't have as many issues with potty issues or accidents happening inside. Take them to that same spot, because then they're going to start to know, this is the place where I go. And it's going to have the smell that tells them this is where I go potty.
Yep. And again, same spot. puppies also have short attention spans, so
Yeah.
let them go a couple times before you let them go back inside. So
Absolutely.
Just kind of things to help get them off the pee pads.
Absolutely. So the other thing that kind of comes to my mind that I've gotten questions about, and I'm curious if you have as well. Have you ever had any questions about the sprays to kind of prevent a dog from like peeing on a certain area?
Yes, yep, we have for dogs and cats for that matter. And I guess there's not a whole lot of efficacy to most of them. Is been our finding. What about you, Hillary?
I mean, the thing that I always kind of mention is that, and it's genuine. I have not ever heard of them working. And so I almost tell people, as hard as it is to just keep pushing through and trying to stick with what you're doing for your routine, and just create a routine where at this time we go out, this time we go out. The more you try and stick to that routine, even if there is some accidents, it's going to eventually fall into place. And it's hard because you've got to kind of just keep pushing through. But it's like when you're learning a new task or a sport, the more you practice, the better it's going to get. And it's kind of the same thing, I think, with potty training.
Yes, I agree. And, thinking about timing as well, and a little bit less with the pee pads, but timing of potty training. Puppies eat, they need to go to the bathroom.
Yep.
So, meal feeding the puppy and then making sure they are out and going to the bathroom is a great idea.
Yes.
To kind of facilitate the transition as well.
Part of our potty training schedule that we do here for our board and train program is that after they've had their breakfast and, had some water, we go out 30 minutes later. And then, we stick to that routine that this is what we're going to follow. And that, like I said, if you stick to it, it works.
Yes, absolutely.
But yeah, thanks for joining us on this week's Positive Talks. Whether you're a devoted dog lover, a curious cat parent, or somewhere in between, we are glad to be a part of your journey. Until next time, stay curious, stay kind, and keep it positive.